you around and you next week, sir, down the stairs into her bed. She's to come to cry to me. She's a very broken-hearted woman.
Into a campaign because we didn't want to sort of involve all these tenants, most of whom, in fact all of whom were colour tenants, were of course obviously scared about their position because they were desperate for places to live, and that they worried if they in fact we did take up their case for them, whether they in fact be out in the street.
These inspectors have been, well, you know, some tenants say that they've had dropsy, that the landlady's been putting a backhander to them. They made reports on many occasions and they always said that the house was okay or that it was the tenant's fault. Anyway, the delegation was actually fixed up for Monday, this last Monday, with the Chief Medical Officer of Health for Hackney and...
Actually alive with cockroaches.
I think they should be ashamed.
All the social problems that arise out of that formation.
Upstairs, she flew out of the bed and jumped under a blanket and had all the pillows on her face, telling me that the rat just run across the floor. And she began screaming out. She was so scared that she even wanted to come off from one of the pillows because she thought the rat going to come on her.
Police negligence, just to mention a few. They're always attacking the weak and the tenant on his own.
I've been over, done everything to try and get out, but no luck. Can't get nowhere because we're on our own.
So we have a lot of that. Seem to be very happy in the place.
I can't move, I've got no money to pay down.
She even offered my sister a meter. She said my sister must give her £40. £40 for the little.
Well, advertising the exchange of martyrs being a money-making thing, aren't they?
If you ask for bedding, you should pay to put your coats on the bed.
When you tell her about the rats, she says we bring them there.
It doesn't matter where you go, it doesn't matter who you go to for help. She seems to win. Once you mention her name, people don't want to know.
I phoned the town on and asked to speak to the health inspector.
They just said, oh, we can't do anything about these things. They didn't even give me a chance to explain.
The health inspector didn't think there was going to be much necessity.
We showed him the back room. He didn't say much about that. He was taking it all in.
But the inspector has not been making correct reports.
Nothing has been done. He left the burnt room, he went into the cellar. He said that we should clean it. The furniture down there and all the old junk doesn't belong to the tenants, it's the landladies. And if you touch it, she'll sue you for it.
I've been to the town clerk, but I don't know what they're doing about it. I have called health inspectors.
I don't want to know nothing.
The inspector had not been doing his job properly.
Nothing has been done.
They call themselves the civic dignitaries of the borough.
And he looked at it and said that somebody else would come. Nobody has arrived as yet. I'm still waiting and looking on.
He said, it's a lovely room, what's wrong with it? He came through past the dustbins. He told us to put lids on the dustbins. There wasn't even meant to there. He went out into the back garden. He said, oh, what a lovely garden.
It's a waste of time going to public health inspectors and so on.
The best thing to do would be for people to cooperate with each other and join a tenants association, because just with one tenant you would get nowhere.
You must continue to pressure the authorities at all levels.
And marched, let the town clerks and all of the health officers see what the poor tenants have to go through, paying such big rents when you haven't got proper living conditions.
There's a lady living next door to me. She's got a toilet lined into the kitchen. There's the kitchen and the toilet are both side by side, which the health inspector said shouldn't be there. He brought the chief inspector to look at it. He looked at it and said, well, we'll just block it off and you can walk from your kitchen, through your living room, out through the back, right round and use the toilet from there. The lady complained that when she flushes the toilet, she gets all the smell of the toilet into her kitchen that she's walking over.
It's an old dirty stove. It had grease in it from, must have 10 years ago. A lot of rubbish is kept up there now, you can find it. They came around about the toilet because there was a blockage in the drain. They didn't do anything about it.
Every morning I get up, I smell this terrible odour. And as the door opens, I get all the filth coming into my place.
Landlady, as you probably know, her famous phrase is, me no speaking the English, but me understand the £5 nose.
She had an old wardrobe, a little table, and 2 old chairs, and an old wet, stinking bed. It was very, very stinkly really, very stinkly really, and I couldn't sleep in it at all. It only has one toilet, and inside the toilet is all taken up the little rotten floor in a piece of... There's so much people using the toilet that sometimes you naturally don't even get in there. It's not really perfect.
They come in one day, the door's been boarded up.
I told a neighbour, I said, there's an eviction going on under my eyes and I'm helpless. Within about 15 minutes we had 40 people there. The landlady ran away. We reinstalled the evicted man. This crumbling plaster is falling into your food when you're preparing a meal and into your kettle when you're filling it. There's a food cupboard in a dreadful state. I don't think this has been decorated for years. And there's no ventilation in this at all because, you see, it is built into the wall next to the fireplace. It's alive with cockroaches. If you even leave a drop of tea in a cup on the table at night, there's a cockroach floating about in it in the morning. And it's a funny thing, they go for clean clothes. If you have any laundry about, you always find that they're crawling about on there, and on the bed. A dear old lady, she's 85. This landlady comes along, she said, will you do me a favour and let me have somebody stay in your back room for a week? The old lady was too afraid to say no. The back room has been left as a furnished room. The cooker was put on the landing, a bucket and stamp put on the stairs. The old lady never got her room back. She won't repair her place. Christmas Eve, the roof in my sitting room caved in. She told me it was an accident.
Well, we was coming to the meeting, and I heard a scream. She came outside and told me she bent down the side of the stove to pick up something, and that jumped up and went down a jumper.
Oh, if you'd have heard it, well, the way we heard it here on the Friday night, it was just like you might say an Alsatian having a good scratch.
We have a lot of holes and there are many rats around the place. Sometimes when we're sleeping, you hear the rats going around the ceiling like here. And they run right around and sometimes they're in the... And they run all night looking for something to eat. Sometimes they're jumping off the table. So we have to be careful that we don't leave anything on the table to eat, so that the rat mightn't have anything to eat at all. The window was so rotten that the glass fell from the frame.
I said to Jacqueline, you're not going downstairs, you're staying in the room. And after she went by the door, began crying. I said, I'm going downstairs because up here is a prison. I don't know what she knows about prison. She's over 4 years.
Another man went to the rent tribunal and living in a shed in the backyard. When he returned home from work, he placed his ransacked. The papers were strewn all over the floor. There's bottle of ink spread all over them. Somebody had urinated on them, and a teapot had been emptied on them, so the man couldn't use them again. He fled for his life.
Another tenant in Hemmingford Road went to the rent tribunal. He had his rent put down £1. The next day, 4 men turned up at his door and said they were CID officers. We checked with the police. There were no police inquiries made that day, and 2 days later he left. He was terrified. He thought he was going to be knifed.
She's getting my mother scared. My mother don't scared, but my mother is scared. The children are scared of her.
I was in court representing a fellow tenant who'd been cruelly evicted some weeks previous to this, and there was a steward there who had operated on behalf and with this Rattling landlady who had committed this eviction. And I didn't provoke him at all. I didn't even speak to him, but he came over to me and he said, I'll knock your fucking block off. I'll crack your fucking skull. Where you stand, town hall or not. And I said, why? He said, well, you started this. You told the tenants to go to the rent tribunal to get their rents reduced. And I said, yes, I did. I'm not ashamed of that. A friend of mine on the ground floor. I lived in the front room and I feel very scared in the night for not having a lock on the door because anyone may come in and do me any harm. There were some small things, well, he calls them at home, roaches. I'm 71. I am not a pensioner here. She owes me what you call overcharge money, in which she hasn't paid me as yet. She come right in and she looked into the room, and I asked her what she's looking for. She didn't answer me, she just looked to the door, and she looked over the cupboard, and I watched her, and she says, "It's my house. I can come in, it's my house." And I closed my door and went in from her. I hadn't any say for her.
I've seen that woman tear a woman's place to pieces downstairs and throw all her things in the cellar when the woman was out.
Every single piece of outside help to broaden the base in which we're pushing. We're like a sort of battering ram up against the gates of Troy, if you like. And we've got to get the force in.
She was very wicked and planted, and we got to push it down with a bare hand.
Quarter to 12 on the Thursday night, that window went in the front room while I was in bed. Well, I naturally thought it might have been a little stone from the street with a car here, which can actually hit the window and smash it. So I said to Malcolm, "Well, don't worry about it." I said, "I'll clear it up in the morning and we'll see what we can do." My chime struck our pulse one and all of a sudden crashed. Them two went over their head. I said, "This is no stones." So I said, "Well, there's somebody actually doing this on purpose, see?" So we didn't know what to do at the time, right? So we shut the shutters a bit, continued to go to sleep. Next day when we come home, I said, "I'll transfer the bedclothes into the back room onto the other bed." At quarter to 12 exactly, somebody got in that yard with his ever open door, bang, we hit the shutter, went straight down on the floor. But the bottle didn't break, but the cork flew out. Well, we both jumped out of bed because of the smell. We didn't realise what it was like. Well, the police reckoned it was stale urine.
And another thing that Rutland has in all her houses, she tries to let tenants live bad among each other.
She puts tenants against tenants.
She'd go into one room and say, "This tenant said so-and-so about you." Then she would go upstairs and tell those people that we said something about her, so that we'll have a hard feeling about the people upstairs.
And then when everyone's quarreling, she'll walk out. I said it was the police. The police came over. When I opened the door, switched on the light, oh, I never think a thing in my life. Oh, everything was thrown over the place. All the salt and sugar was all mixed up together. All little stupid little things, you know. Oh, I didn't know what to do. I was lost for words. And then the police and the amplified any enemies out. He told me that this place was down broken in for revenge. He didn't know all I said was, "I've only got one enemy in the world, nothing left the landlady." I rushed down to get one of my neighbours. "How's it happened, Mrs. Norris?" she said. "Your landlady's been here all day long."
She used to send a man to this house with a big boxer dog. You'll never see a dog so big in all your life, it was that big. And I used to threaten to set the dog on pieces.
He takes along with her.
Massive men. They always pick big people.
He kicks the door, plants himself down in the nearest chair.
She forced his door and went to fight my husband, grabbed him by his throat, tore his coat, she crashed his guitar and went into his suitcase and took some of his precious papers and burned them.
And she blasts the tenant. "What the hell are you doing now? You're boiling the lights."
She wouldn't come out. She just stayed there and everyone said rubbish people and squirms. Janet was speaking, and Margaret was speaking, and Ian was speaking, and we were singing, and we were shouting, all exclusive and out. The mere fact that she could get a minister to speak up for her, a minister, one of God's people, is supposed to be to say this lies in the people. To me, she could get anybody else, pay them a couple pounds.
The march is very good.
Very, very good.
If we had more of them, I think that would shake up.
It was smashing.
All of us tenants must feel pleased that everyone is having the courage to go forward. very, very good for a start. Because I don't think you like publicity.
She come and tried to bribe me tonight, you know, she said if I wouldn't go to any more meetings or demonstrations, she would make the place nice for me. I didn't take any notice. I just said the room is dirty and the rent is too much. They burst the door down, and I stood there and I watched Mrs. DeLusican and two other men stand round there, had a blanket on the floor, and they put all his possessions, tied them up, and walked out with him.